welcome back to another episode of Why I Hate This Movie. I'm your host, Eric Rios, with always my heterosexual life mate and co-host, Danny Newton. Say hi, Danny.
Hello, Derek. How are you?
I'm doing fine. So today we're going to be talking about 2012.
Yes.
One of many disaster movies that came out.
I think really Roland Emmerich's crowning achievement.
You think so?
I do.
Okay.
I think this is as ludicrous as it can get. So
I thought Geostorm was pretty far out there for disaster movies.
So before this, we had Independence Day, which was his first disaster movie.
Yeah.
And then we had Day After Tomorrow, which is his second disaster movie.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have this. This is much worse than those other two.
I thought Day After Tomorrow was worse than this.
Day After Tomorrow told at least a cohesive storyline, right?
This had a cohesive storyline. It just jumps around a lot.
I guess what I mean is Day After Tomorrow is more believable. I can buy into Day After Tomorrow more than this. Because in Day After Tomorrow, it's essentially the start of an ice age and basically instant glaciation. Which, as absurd as that is, it's still more believable than the Earth's crust just rearranges itself over the course of a day and a half.
Yeah.
It's easier to relate to the characters. I would say there wasn't characters in this.
Okay, so this movie is based off of Earth crust displacement theory.
Yeah.
And they mentioned that Einstein actually supported this. And he did. He did do some research on it.
Roland Emmerich read it in a book. Was it Fingers of God or something like that?
Yeah.
And after that, he really wanted to make that kind of movie, but he wanted it to be tied to the biblical flood.
So,
and how to make the flood actually a thing.
One of the big differences in the theories, and not just Earth crust, the biggest thing is with polar shifting.
Yes.
With the magnetic fields, which the magnetic north changes.
Yeah.
It moves. A lot of scientists expect that we're actually going to have a swap of polarity at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not in our lifetime, but in the near future. And that would disrupt human civilization quite a bit, just from it really mess up electronics quite a bit.
Well,
which is running everything
to an
these
extent.
days.
I think the bigger danger for humans in modern electronics and stuff like that would be a Carrington event and not necessarily pole shift, though. With the polar shift, by what I've read, the little bit I've read, the biggest effect it would actually have would be thinning the magnetosphere, right?
Magnetosphere?
Yes. We would be bombarded by more cosmic rays and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You definitely have to wear sunblock.
Well, that is happening. We are losing it. And that's one of the big concerns. And they don't know why.
Well, that's future me's problem.
We'll be dead. So in this, pretty much there's solar flares. The sun has some solar flares and our magnetic sphere.
No. The solar flares are mutating the neutrinos inside the planet.
Yeah, that's the one thing I was like, he said there's a new particle that formed that's heating up the planet faster.
So,
okay.
The planet's becoming a microwave oven? Isn't that more dangerous? Are we going to just boil?
I don't know. So, the planet heats up and the crust gets soft and shifts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's believable, but it's not going to shift 1,000 feet.
1,000 miles.
1,000 miles, yeah.
Yeah.
1,000 feet is believable.
Yeah.
Not like 1,000 miles. It's still an entertaining movie. I have a soft spot for disaster movies because they're usually a thrill ride, right?
I watched John Cusack run 3 times faster than Usain Bolt in this movie.
No, he's just really
really
out.
Athletic, works out. Yeah, that fucking marshmallow body. Yeah, he works out all the time.
Usain Bolt retired. He didn't finish his last race. He got hurt.
There is a scene in here to which John Cusack is chasing down a plane to actually get on it. It's almost a takeoff speed that's at least 100 miles an hour.
If you go back when he first starts chasing the plane, it was barely moving.
As though they wasn't speeding up to take off. Like he chases this plane down on the foot. He slows
down. It's barely rolling, but for some reason it still takes him 10 seconds to hop on this plane. But that's besides the fact that they were just point blank at this Yellowstone eruption, which was insanely powerful.
Yes.
Half of Yellowstone just exploded.
They would be vaporized. It'd be like standing right beside an atomic bomb. Yeah.
The wall cloud alone would annihilate everything in our country.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be ridiculous.
Yeah. From Yellowstone out to like Virginia would be under superheated ash. It'd be insane.
Which the cloud reaches DC, I think, in 7 hours, they said.
That's probably...
The ash cloud?
That's probably accurate.
Yeah.
Somewhat. So 7 hours is kind of believable. The closest thing we have to really compare it to in modern time is, especially with all the shit they were doing, flying planes through this thing, by the way, was, what was it? The volcano in Reykjavik or whatever?
Yeah, it just erupted going off last month. Yeah.
It downed planes. It grounded them for weeks at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, essentially you're sandblasting your engine system and plane and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would die.
Mm-hmm.
You'd fall out of the air.
We did just have that volcano. That was like last month, I think, right?
Yeah, that was underwater eruption, though.
No. It blew up. You can see it from space.
Yeah.
It was massive. It's going to cool our temperature.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. Is it
about 1 degree?
Yeah, about 1 degree Celsius, right?
Mm-hmm.
If that's true, it's definitely going to be a rough winter next year.
But it doesn't seem like much, but you'd be surprised how much.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. But I mean, you just can't compare this movie to anything in real life. It's impossible.
Well, that's most disaster movies, right? He takes the Mayan calendar. This is a big scare back in 2009.
Yes.
Everyone, the Mayan calendar ends on solstice day.
Yeah. You know why? Because the Mayans thought that 5,000 years would be good enough. Yeah. We'll do another one.
Their calendar, it turns out their calendar just wasn't efficient and it ran out of space. So it just ended on, was it 12/21/12?
Yes.
Which was that the exact day it actually ended on? I just think they used that number because it looked good.
I think they used it because it looked good.
I think it ended during the summer.
No, I don't know about that. I think it ended. I think it ended during the winter, but I think it was like on the 23rd, 24th. I think it was like Christmas or something.
I think it was the summer solstice, which is during the summer. I could be wrong.
I'm not sure.
Either way, it was silly, and of course, just like every other superstition, people trying to predict natural disasters in the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's just propaganda and a hoax. And I mean, I guess if you take enough shots, eventually someone will be right, maybe.
Yeah.
If you think the world's going to end every day, then eventually you'll be
right. Yeah. That rock's going to fall out of the sky eventually. You're right.
Yeah. There'll be one crazy guy like, I told you so.
This movie is just so absurd. So we're meant to believe that John Cusack is, you know, our Lord and Savior, essentially.
No.
Yes.
No. How?
He does every miraculous thing in the world.
But he didn't save anyone besides his family. He's not Jesus.
Did you know that they were trying to greenlight a TV show based on their survivors of this movie recolonizing, like, it's Africa at the end of it. Yeah. That they wanted to do a TV show of them colonizing Africa at the end of this.
Yeah, I could believe that.
How incredibly bad would that be? This is the concept of that alone is fucking terrible.
Well, so the end, I mean, jumping ahead a little bit, like the ending, Africa raises up 1,000 feet.
Yeah.
And it's high enough that they said it probably didn't flood at all. And when it shows the earth reformed, it zooms out at the very end and it shows Africa just perfectly the exact same shape as it was before.
Yes. I feel like, at least in my heart, that Africans everywhere would do the right thing this time, that boats full of white people showed up on their shore and fucking sink them to the bottom of the ocean if they know what's good for them.
These are pretty big boats. I don't know.
It's a fucking terrible idea.
I mean, you'd still think the majority of them would be dead because the ground shifted so much. If it raises up 1,000 feet, I'm sure it's not stable.
Yeah.
And a lot of people died still. Like all the structures would have collapsed.
Yes,
right?
all the structures would have collapsed and stuff like that. But, there's plenty of open space that you could go be in where a building's not going to fall on you in Africa.
Yeah. So you got all the African tribes.
Yes.
And then the billionaires of the world.
Yes. Isn't that just like the worst concept for a show that you've ever heard of, though?
No, I've heard of worse. I watched La Brea a couple months ago. That was pretty fucking awful.
Let's do a show about, white people colonizing a place where people already live, as though we haven't done that for the last couple thousand years.
So at the beginning of this movie, it jumps quite a bit.
Yes.
You see that pretty much them discovering that the Earth is rapidly heating.
Yes.
And then the government finding out, which they actually take it seriously, which I found interesting. Because I like one of the new disaster movies that recently came out called Don't Look Up, which is actually a really good movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. And that one, I feel like, is a lot more believable in our time and age, where the government's kind of just doesn't really care.
Right. Let's get through this next election cycle. Then we'll talk about your little the Earth is melting theory.
Mm-hmm. And so, which the president of this is Danny Glover,
yeah.
Which in 2009, he would pretty much be representing Barack Obama.
Right.
Because that's shortly after he got elected.
Mm-hmm.
This would have ended at the end of 2012, which would have been his first 4-year cycle.
Yes.
They would be going through the election process because they wouldn't tell anyone. So everyone would still be trying to vote. And,
right.
Who ran against him?
Everybody would be out there campaigning and shit. Mm-hmm. Let's see. John McCain ran against him the first time, did he not?
Yeah. Yeah. So this time it would have been.
And that would have been Mitt Romney. No, Mitt Romney ran against him the first time.
Oh, so this is McCain-Palin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this would have been McCain-Palin running against him this time. Yeah, they would all been out doing rallies and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which at the time when this movie starts, they show a G8. They go in 2010. They go to the G8 summit.
Yes.
It shows that people are writing about wages, which that's cute.
Yeah, just like today.
No, not really. No one writes about that anymore. That's kind of
well, it's part of it.
It's mostly about either race or Nazism.
Yeah, yeah, kind of.
Everyone's being oppressed.
A certain letter of the alphabet we don't talk about.
No, just wearing a mask is pretty much the same thing as being the World War II, being in a camp.
Yes,
as a Jew,
obviously.
Yeah.
And let's see, Israel has space lasers that cause forest fires in California. JFK is coming back any day now.
Is he?
Yeah, he is.
I figured Reagan would come back. I don't know.
To the town where he was killed. That was amazing. I wouldn't want. I would never want to go back there again. Fuck that place. But JFK was going to make his grand appearance there. Anyway,
could you imagine if the world had ended while Barack Obama was in office?
Oh my God! Everybody said thanks, Obama.
They already blamed him for Obamacare, and everything else went wrong, like 9/11. I love videos where these Trump supporters are blaming Obama for 9/11.
Yes. Yes, he transcends time. All the power players of the world are in on this. And that's really what we want, is a movie that validates conspiracy theories.
Yeah, this movie is the perfect compilation of disaster, conspiracy, government cover-up, and then the world.
Yes.
And the government's going around murdering anyone that tries to speak out. We have our crazy conspiracy theorist, Woody Harrelson.
Yep. And he's straight up Alex Jones.
Yeah, and he's right about everything.
Mm-hmm.
He's our hero. He warned us.
He told us. That damn rain's turning the frogs gay. But
so the first country to find out, or the first people to find out, was India. And they tell, I think, the hero of the story, which is Adrian Helmsley, which is played by our assassin from Firefly, from the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Chiwetel Ejiofor? Yeah,
Man, that's close enough.
I have no idea how to pronounce his name. That guy is actually surprisingly been in a lot of stuff. This actually had a good cast.
Yeah, it did have a really good cast.
I think he was the hero of the story, even though we're mostly just following around this family that's trying to survive that almost murders 400,000 people or whatever.
To me, the real hero of the story is the White House Chief of Staff.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
The one that's...
This supposed to be the villain?
Oliver Platt?
Yes.
Okay.
He's the fucking hero. Name one thing that he isn't just fucking dead on right about. 100% right about.
Well, he spends... his job most of the movie is to just be generic evil
Yeah.
Government agent.
But he's completely fucking right.
He is right. But he also just yells everything at you. That's his job.
Well,
to yell
everybody,
at everyone.
I felt a real strong connection with this guy. When everybody around you is just so fucking stupid, you want to scream at them constantly. They deserve it. He's supposed to be the de facto bad guy. Like money, 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 greed, 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 whatever. But he's exactly right. Oh, we're just going to fucking let all these people in and sing Kumbaya. We're going to fucking starve on these boats.
Yep.
What happens if we drop that door and this fucking wave comes? We're all going to die. He's right. He's so fucking right. Are we letting all these billionaires and shit on? Yeah. Who do you think paid for all this shit? He's right.
So all the world's governments, all the major governments at least, came together. They had private billionaires. They're selling tickets for 100,
yes,
or for €1 billion, which is about 1.2 billion.
Yeah, if you know if this movie was made today, that fucking Elon Musk will be on that list, and Jeff Bezos will be on that list. I'm surprised that they didn't have like a Bill Gates stand-in and they're in this movie as well.
Yeah,
because they had stand-ins
a lot of
for all these other rich people.
They had stand-in for Arnold.
Yeah,
which is weird.
Isn't that the worst fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger
it's terrible
you've ever seen in your life?
It's so bad. I don't know what. I don't understand why.
I've seen SNL skits do better than that shit. God, it was so bad.
So all the governments came together, and then it was funded by all these billionaires.
And even if it was being all built over in like Podunk, China, India area,
it was
somewhere on the border.
China. Yeah,
I thought it was like Tibetan border area.
That's where it looks like, up in the Himalayas there. That's where it was.
Even if it was all being constructed there, I mean, the entire world would know. They're not just going to keep these people in camps indefinitely.
I mean...
It would be pretty easy to figure out online what was going on over in China.
So this takes place over 3 years, where China blows a hole in the mountain and starts building these arcs. The movie does try to fool you, and you think that it's spaceships. Yes. Woody Harrelson tells you it's spaceships, and all he heard was ships.
Yes. Which he would have every right to think that they're spaceships.
Yeah. It would make sense.
It would make complete sense.
Because if they did do ships, actual ships, which they had animals, and
That's dumb, too.
They brought animals and stuff. I don't know, just to repopulate or just for... I mean, they wanted to be Noah's Ark.
Yes.
So... But it looked like they only brought one of each animal.
If you airlifted a fucking giraffe at this altitude, it would freeze before you got it to its destination.
That's fine.
Would this already be done like at least a year in advance? Wouldn't all these animals already be there?
They were still working on the arcs. So there was only 3 arcs, right? There was 4. There was a 4th one built. It wasn't finished.
All those poor fucking animals drowned below deck.
Yeah. Well, no,
they were John Cusack.
They were above the drowning area, but they were supposed to. They were working on the 4th arc. It wasn't finished in time. But they had the 3, and there's supposed to be 8 total. There's 8 bays total.
Yes.
Apparently, everything was accelerated. Their timeline was accelerated significantly.
Yeah.
And they had like a 3-day warning. It's like, oh, we're done in 3 days. So they boarded all these people in 3 days. And I'm guessing that's when they got all these animals.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it would have been insanely chaotic. And of course, you see them taking, even before that, they're unloading all of the history, the Mona Lisa, for an example. They put the Mona Lisa on a boat, and they lie to them and tell them they're going to put it in a Turkish bunker or some shit like that.
Yeah. They're sending it to, I think they said the Alps or some shit like that, right?
Yeah, a bunker
And then that guy caught wind of where it was really going, and then they fucking blew him up in the tunnel that they blew up Princess Diana in, or whatever, right?
Yeah, that's where Princess
died. Fucking really? That wouldn't look suspicious at all. Thank you.
It doesn't matter. The world was so close to ending. It didn't even matter anymore. You don't think the government has people killed all the time? We just don't know about it?
Yeah. Like,
the Clintons have a huge hit list, right? The kill list. Have you ever looked at that? That's pretty funny.
Funny.
It's pretty insane.
Whenever he called his dad on that damn boat and told him, like, hey, Dad, must make things straight right now because the world's going to fucking end. Mm-hmm. And it hits his dad like what's actually happening. And he starts fucking drinking, right? But you don't think the government would have fucking killed that dude immediately?
Well, so you see...
I guess at that point, though, it's already happening, though. There's no reason to.
Yeah, like Oliver Platt's character knows about it. And he tells him, it's like, oh, we know, but he's isolated on a boat. So it really doesn't matter. There's not a lot of damage. And it's pretty much over at that point. So.
When these tidal waves and stuff started rolling in, like, I mean, I know we're jumping all over the place. This movie's fucking terrible. So when these tidal waves started rolling in, and it threw the USS JFK or whatever through the White House, wouldn't you think that all the nations of the world that had powerful fleets and stuff like that would move their fleets out as far away from shore as possible?
I mean, I think so, but these tidal waves are so massive it wouldn't matter. You saw it flooded the Himalayas. I think it's like 27,000 feet or some shit like that.
Yeah. But wouldn't you think there would be like a central swell or something? When there's tsunami warnings, a lot of these villages and stuff like that will move their boats out into the ocean so they don't get flung back up on shore and stuff.
Yeah.
And get rolled and capsized.
But, I mean, they were in the ocean.
Yeah.
But it's just the wave was so huge, it didn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, that wave rolled that cruise liner. Mm-hmm. But an aircraft carrier is much larger than a cruise liner. I think an aircraft carrier may have made it through that kind of a wave.
An aircraft carrier isn't much larger. That's a massive cruise liner.
Yeah.
An aircraft carrier probably isn't much larger than that, honestly.
I bet it is. I bet it's a lot larger than a cruise liner.
They're a lot harder to tip over because they're flat. They're wider than a cruise liner like that. So it might be possible. But you also got to think, there's a bunch of submarines.
Yeah.
The submarines would be fine. Well,
that'd be a fucking wild ride in a submarine.
It would be. And I don't know how that would work because the water's shifting so much, and apparently the ground and ocean, I don't know if a wall would just hit over.
It's actually something I learned on Smarter every day. There's a point to which a submarine will sink and can't resurface itself. Mm-hmm. So it just endlessly falls. It can't reballast itself. So if a submarine is under when all this is going on, then the ocean might shift up so high above it that it just falls to the bottom.
If it goes more than like 1,000 feet or so, it just crumples. So
yeah,
it wouldn't matter anyways. A normal submarine doesn't dive that deep. When they went down in the Mariana Trench, James Cameron went down in a little personal submarine, and those things can handle a lot more.
Yeah, they're like little bubbles.
And that was, I think he went down like 6,000 or 7,000 feet, something like that. It's just the lowest anyone's ever been. That's like the deepest part of the ocean. But a normal submarine doesn't go down anywhere near that. Even at that depth, they'll put a little string up.
Yeah.
From one hole to the other. They'll watch it start to droop as the hole starts to crumple.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you went down, like if it sank more than that, they would just crumple and all of them would die anyway, so it wouldn't matter.
Right. God, man, this movie is so just nonsensical. So
it was, but it was still entertaining.
They want us to care about like John Cusack and his family and shit like that, and they're just sitting there showing us fucking essentially death porn. Like fucking hundreds of thousands of people dying in the background.
It's disaster porn, right?
Yeah.
All these disaster movies, you see them destroy all the big landmarks. Mm-hmm. And
this was especially violent, though. This was especially violent. This wasn't like a fucking alien shooting a ray down and people getting incinerated instantly.
Which the CGI isn't great, but they counteract a lot of it with doing realistic sets.
There was a bunch of this, too, that was just, it looked like they were running from a green screen explosion going on. All of the Yellowstone stuff, it looked like they were just running from a green screen explosion in the background.
It did. San Andreas, when they were flying through the buildings and stuff, actually looked pretty good.
Yeah. But then when it cuts to them in the plane, they're just like, it's like they're on a fucking Disneyland ride or something. Ooh, ah. No, there's fucking hundreds of thousands of people dying around you. This isn't the time to ooh and ah. Your kids are fucking crying. Can you at least, like, show their face in the pillow and not show them all the dead bodies around them or something?
If the movie did good, we could get a Universal right out of it, But, yeah, even the skyscrapers are falling apart. You can see people falling out of them. It's pretty intense.
I felt so fucking bad for Gordon.
I did. But you know what? Gordon was a douchebag.
No, Gordon was an okay guy.
No, he was a douchebag at the beginning of the movie.
Why was he a douchebag?
He walks out and he's just his demeanor.
Oh, he's a doctor. He's
a doctor. He's taking pilot lessons. He can fly a plane.
Just because you're jealous of Gordon's life does not make him a bad person.
I'm saying he's a bro, okay?
Definitely not a bro.
He's driving a little fucking Miata.
He's a nerdy dude. He's not a bro.
No, dude. He comes out and he's like, I told you I don't want to do any more fucking C-sections or whatever. What was it? I don't want to do any more of this shit on Fridays. It's too messy, bro. I'm just going to go bang bitches and fill up some titties.
Gordon was a good guy. Gordon puts up with a lot of shit that he should not have to put up with.
Fuck, Cusack puts up with a bunch of shit.
Cusack abandoned his fucking kids.
No.
Cusack fucking led his children into a dangerous area of Yellowstone that was fenced off.
Just because it was fenced off of radioactive signs or danger signs.
It's a fucking government-run state park. If it's fenced off, it might be fenced off for a fucking reason.
It's a public park. They're not supposed to be fencing off areas.
So?
So they go to Yellowstone, and this lake that they used to go to, him and his wife, is just drained.
Yeah.
And he doesn't think anything of it. He's like, there's a lake here. And it's just bubbling acid on the ground.
Yeah.
And it's like
fucking dead animals laying everywhere. And you're just walking your kids through it like it's cool or something.
It's just like, oh, it's weird.
You know what? He was right to get his kids taken away. He's a fucking terrible person.
No.
Yes.
He's just lost. He's a writer. That's how writers are.
Fuck John Cusack. Gordon did nothing wrong, okay? If you want to hate on Gordon for fucking being successful, trying to better his life, learning new things, having adventures, that says something about you, okay? Gordon didn't do anything bad. If it wasn't for Gordon, these fuckers would have died 1,000 times over.
It would have been one more random family that died, and we would have never cared any of the less.
These people would have died 1,000 times over.
They should have died anyways in San Andreas.
Yeah. But
you think that if The Rock was there, he would have saved them all?
All I know is because Gordon is so fucking awesome at everything he does, he paid extra attention in flight school for his lesson or two. He held the stick, but you know what? He learned much more than that. He read all his books and stuff because apparently he could fucking fly this little fucking like twin prop Cessna or whatever.
He says
fucking fly.
It was only a single engine plane, which I'm pretty sure that was just a single engine prop plane.
He fucking flew the big Russian jumbo fucking jetliner plane thing.
There's a Russian cargo plane.
Gordon's a fucking MVP.
You know who the MVP is? Sasha. Sasha's the real fucking hero.
God damn.
And they murder him comically.
God, dude.
Like a fucking Looney Tunes movie.
Sasha.
They murder him like he's in a Looney Tunes movie where the plane slides up to the edge and stops and he's like, I'm alive. And then, nope, you're dead.
You know what? He was literally willing, he was willing to fall upon the sword. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He was willing to make that sacrifice. Like, no, get everybody off. I got this.
There was a lot of people that did that in the movie. Danny Glover did it too.
And then his reward for doing so was just the tease that you might live and then fall to your death.
Which, they're on a massive ice shelf up there. And then the next scene, it shows them walking down next to the carnage.
They're landing on top of the fucking Himalayas or something.
Yeah, there's a plateau up there. The next scene, they're down the 100 to 300 foot drop off where Sasha died. next to the burned up plane. Maybe they went down there to piss on his ashes.
So fucking bad. Poor Sasha. Damn. I also love the Nevada, like, air traffic control tower. It's like, you don't have permission to take off.
There's so many deaths that are, like, cut off on comms or, like, phones in this movie. Yeah, they see a giant fuck shit wall coming at them, and they're just like, oh, that's not good. But that plane leaving, we got to do our job still.
Fucking.
Why are you taking off, bro?
That murder clown's going to kill you. With you. Oh my god.
Going back to the cruise liner.
Yes.
The two old guys on it that we follow, they're in like a little jazz band. It's Tony and Harry. Yes. Tony's actually played by George Siegel, who passed away recently, like last year. He was Pops, R.I.P. Pops. I don't know if you caught this, but when they were talking, him and Harry. Yes. And Harry, he hasn't talked to his son in a long time. He's angry at his son.
Because he married a Japanese woman.
Apparently just because he married a Japanese woman, who is gorgeous, by the way.
Well, you see, he was old enough to have probably fought in World War II. Yeah. So he probably hates the Japanese if he went to the Pacific.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. But his son was obviously in the military and met a Japanese woman and married her.
Oh, well. It's okay. They're all dead. Doesn't fucking matter.
You're right.
That was this entire movie. Oh, all those people we met over there, that don't fucking matter. They're all dead. Oh, those people, man, they're all fucking dead.
Well, Danny Glover stayed behind because
he's too old for this shit.
He's too old for this shit. I gotta get out of this movie. I'm too old for this shit. He stayed behind to go down with the sinking ship. Went and told all the few people that were left in the country that were still alive.
Yep. Now you're going to die.
Which I think after Yellowstone erupts, there should be no cell phone signal left.
No, they even said there was a point in this movie they said all land communication globally is down. Mm-hmm.
They're still making cell phone calls.
The Indian dude has no trouble whatsoever getting a cell phone call through to the Ark.
Yep.
So,
like, hey, man, there's a giant wave coming at us. But, yeah, y'all guys didn't pick me up. Thanks. Have a good life.
Tell you, man, Verizon is on point.
Fucking Verizon.
Can you hear me now?
No, because you're dead.
Dude. And just probably like a dozen people up in the space station just watching the planet melt.
Yep. Those are the real survivors.
Oh, this looks real bad. Glad I'm not down there.
I think the most unbelievable part of the movie is so after the whole planet shifts, the three arcs are saved or whatever, and they're floating. They restart the calendar because the Mayans, we got to go restart the Mayan calendar, and it's year one.
Yes,
and it's 27 days later, in the month one, and they open up. There's like, oh, the skies have cleared up. Let's open it up and check out, and get some fresh air.
No. It'd take a generation.
Yeah, it would take hundreds of years. It'd probably take at least 100 years for all of this ash, the whole world.
I want to think whenever they were talking about like Chicxulub or whatever, I want to think they said it was something like 2 or 3 decades for it to all settle back out. But even after that, the environmental damage is just irreparable, right?
Pretty much the entire Earth erupted. Like you see, Honolulu erupted. Like everything, all these volcanoes. There's so much ash. It would pretty much destroy everything. It'd probably take thousands of years to actually recreate life.
This is a prequel to Waterworld.
Because an event like this would be an extinction level event.
Yep.
It would take thousands of years for the Earth to be habitable again.
Yep.
But 27 days, it's fine.
Yeah, it's cool. Get out there. Be somebody. Go get a breath of fresh air. Acid. Sulfur. Fresh.
So they should have built spaceships.
They really should have, yeah. It's never too late to colonize Mars.
These ships hold like 400,000 people, they said, I think, a piece.
Oh.
Plus they threw all the workers on and all the people from the one arc that wasn't loaded.
Yeah. Everybody that just happened to be in the building at the time.
Yeah.
Like I said, Chief of Staff is right.
I like how they divided up the ships. You have all the other powerful countries sharing ships.
Mm-hmm.
And China didn't get their own. They're sharing it with like Italy and everyone else they hate. And then you had US. We got our own boat. This is our boat.
We got our own entire boat.
Yep.
You know who should have got their own boat? India. India should have got their own boat.
They should have got any of a boat. Apparently none of them showed up. No one told them. Even though they were the first country to discover this shit. And
left that dude to die.
In their copper mine. The deepest copper mine in the world. The deepest mine in the world? It was 1,000 foot deep.
I don't think it's the deepest hole in the world, though.
Well, it's not the deepest hole, surely.
Nah, that's in Russia, right? Isn't it? It's like Screams or something, does it not?
I don't know. There's a few different places like that. There's places that they've discovered recently that have like entire underground eco zones that have just been completely undiscovered.
Yeah. What was that? The cave or something like that?
There's a lot of cool shit we haven't found out there, you know?
Yeah, there's a group of subterranean humans down there that just will fucking eat cave divers.
Lizard people.
Lizard people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or is it crab people?
I don't know. I have to look it up on H-On.
I think that website's gone.
Oh, well. Perhaps we will never know.
Yep.
What a shame. Gordon flies like a fucking fighter pilot. Any plane he touches. He's a natural. I think Gordon might be a Jedi. He's the natural behind the stick. They would have tossed him a lightsaber. I bet he could twirl that shit and deflect bullets with it.
Even God didn't want Gordon with John Cusack's wife.
They fucking killed him for no reason.
Amanda Peet. No, even when they were in the grocery store, he split the earth in half between
them.
Between them. He split the earth between them. That's how much they were not meant to be together.
You know what? For a second there, I was thinking that, well, we've split the blonde woman up from the Russian oligarch.
You give her a love interest?
Yeah.
No.
There you go, Gordon. She's a fucking upgrade anyways, buddy. You did the work yourself.
So when Gordon dies, they just throw him in a gear shaft.
Yeah.
He gets
Nobody
crushed.
gives a fuck.
And I think the whole thing with the door gets stuck open because of some tool.
As the cable got ran around that gear.
Which you think Gordon's corpse might be the thing. His dead fucking corpse is the one jamming these fucking gears.
Oh my god. These gears should have just cranked back over into a streak of blood.
There should be blood everywhere.
Gore.
Fucking body parts. And then on top,
fucking Gordon.
With John Cusack, the savior of this boat, and he saves all these people.
Which the chief of staff was absolutely right.
Yep.
They're saving us from a situation you fucking caused.
These stowaways almost caused all these people their life. And when it shows him trying to remove this cable, there's a camera just in the middle of the gear shaft.
In his fucking face.
In his face. It's like, that's convenient, I guess.
There's fucking cameras all over the place. God, it's so stupid.
So they just murder Gordon.
Yeah.
Just because they have to. True love prevails. But when he goes back and he's like, Gordon's dead. And the wife's like, oh, okay, cool. I love you again. But then they kiss and it's just real fucking awkward.
Yeah. This guy literally just got done kicking your boyfriend through a gear shaft.
He could have saved him. John Cusack lets him die.
Yes, he does. Oh my God.
He could have reached out, but he's like, I'm just gonna save this other guy.
Take my strong hand.
So, yeah, he lets him die. That way he can have his wife back. And the wife just instantly was like, yeah, there we go. Yeah, fuck him.
Yeah, fuck Gordon. Fuck that guy that saved our life.
But she's right. Yeah, fuck that douchebag.
3 times so far.
Cusack, the only reason they're alive is because Cusack showed up, okay? Because he believes the conspiracy theory.
Oh my God. Cusack bought a fucking plane with a watch.
There might have been other stuff. He rented a plane with a watch. That's believable.
No.
Yes.
No.
Planes aren't that expensive.
To personally rent one's probably more expensive than a fucking wristwatch.
You can literally get on I've been on fucking like a helicopter tour of the West Coast. It was like $80 for 2 people. People do tours and shit like that all the time. They're not that expensive. That watch is probably worth a couple $100, I'm sure. That you pay for a tour.
I hate this movie. I fucking hate this movie. This movie is so goddamn bad.
The other person that dies off screen, the Russian chick.
Yeah, she fucking drowns. They drown her.
They put her in the middle of the family. She saves the little girl and it gets stuck there. Then it shows her the water rising. Never shows her again in the movie.
Right. Like, what the fuck did she do wrong?
Nothing. But she just didn't matter anymore. They didn't even acknowledge if she died or not. But they had to let them in, but they would let the doors down. So that means all these kids had to swim past the dead corpse of this chick. Just floating by. Push this bitch by. And then it shows her dog.
Mommy, it's Gordon's head. Floating by.
Probably.
Oh my God.
It shows the little Russian twin brats with the fucking dog. So yeah, she's dead.
This fucking movie. Goddamn. Unbelievably bad.
The sets were pretty cool though. They actually had like a little earthquake set. They build the sets and then shake it. And the actors were actually physically being shook. Like they were recreating an earthquake. And the underwater scenes, they did those. That was a real thing.
They would have all froze to death, by the way.
Oh yeah. That water would have been freezing cold. Well, I mean, they wouldn't have froze to death. They would have died of hypothermia.
I'm sure John Cusack can handle it since he can run as fast as a fucking plane and everything. I don't know why you need to take the RV back. Why don't you just throw the fucking kids over his back and just run back to the plane?
There was a perfectly good dirt bike there. With Danny Glover, after his speech.
Yeah.
He goes around the White House and there's some little girl who's missing her daddy.
Yeah.
Did you catch the line?
Did he say, "I'll be your daddy"?
No. He does grin and say, "I'll find your daddy." And then he walks outside and dies. Why do the kids always want their dad to get along with the new? He wasn't a stepdad; they were just dating with the new boyfriend. I don't know how long they've been together, but it seemed like
a little bit.
John and
it felt like they've been together a little bit.
It seemed like they hadn't gotten divorced yet.
I don't know,
because he never said ex-wife, so it seemed like they were split up. So that maybe like a year or two. You think by that point, by 2 years, surely we get divorced. Usually,
no, because her and Gordon are already talking about maybe having a kid or something.
He was talking about having a kid.
Yeah,
so maybe they were divorced.
They had to have been divorced.
He never calls her his ex-wife. Right.
But she does still have his last name.
Yes.
So even if they got divorced, she never changed her name back.
Which, I mean, I guess that's not that uncommon. My mom never changed her name.
My mom didn't either.
Yeah.
Not until actually here recently.
So, I mean, it didn't seem like they were together that long.
Yeah.
More than like a year or two. But the kids just loved him so much that they just called Jackson, John Cusack, by his name and not actually Daddy.
Yeah.
But then they just want, the children always want the step figure.
Yeah.
And the other parent that they're estranged with to get along.
Well, I mean, John Cusack is not Larry the Cable Guy, okay?
Is he not?
Larry the Cable Guy was generally all around a good person. John Cusack's kind of a piece of shit.
I think Larry the Cable Guy was kind of a piece of shit.
No, not at all. Was he lazy and incompetent? Yeah. Was he a terrible guy? No.
He was good to his daughter.
He remarried that wrestler. It was very progressive.
I don't think you can be a truck driver and gay. I think there's rules against that.
I don't know.
Yeah, I never had that experience. I was never like, hey, Mom, I want you to hang out with my stepmother and be friends. Is that normal?
I don't know. I guess it's the kind of thing where maybe John Cusack is just such an insufferable piece of shit to Gordon all the time that his boy is just like, lighten up. He's not that bad of a guy.
It's not that he's a piece of shit. It's just that the fucking children are just edging him on. They're just flaming him.
Yeah.
They're not even calling him dad. They're disrespecting him, and then turn around and be like, oh yeah, our new fucking dad's so much better than you.
Well, Gordon can't help it that he is, okay? I feel like you hate Gordon because he's got his fucking life together.
No, he's a fucking breast doctor, okay? All he does is brags about just filling up tits all day.
Yeah.
How do you think they even met? Because they clearly state that it wasn't because she got breast implants, and she doesn't have breast implants, unlike the Russian chick.
I don't know. Maybe they just went to the same bar or something one night. Maybe she's a gold-digging whore.
Okay, that's what I want to get to.
You want me to just throw it out like that?
Every woman.
Because
gold digging whore.
I understand why John Cusack doesn't care that Gordon's dead, because he's a piece of shit. Okay? Yeah. But she doesn't care that Gordon's dead because she's like, oh, well, that paycheck's gone. Come here, Johnny boy.
But he doesn't have any money. Do you see?
Money doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, money doesn't hold any value anymore.
I don't know what value money would or wouldn't have.
You think it'd be... I understand them needing funds to build this while they're still an economy. All these billionaires are buying their tickets, but then afterwards, they're not billionaires anymore.
No, they're not. But they would have a status. They would have a prestigious status. Because if not for them, humanity would be dead or something. But then again, like I said, there's got to be hundreds of millions of Africans that lived.
Well, you'd think.
Yeah.
Unless the air wasn't breathable anymore.
If the plate just lifted 1,000 feet, 1,000 feet above sea level really isn't that much.
No.
I guess it's all in how solid do you think the continent was while it lifted.
That's the thing. It wouldn't just lift as one piece.
Well, the Earth could bulge on that side.
Yeah.
If the Earth, it's called subluxation. If the Earth subdues on this side, then how much do you think it just pops out on that side?
I don't know. They did mention that the South Pole was in Wisconsin, or somewhere around Wisconsin.
I think so.
So that would mean the North Pole would be somewhere near India, I think.
So they'd be about on the North American elevation, the new North American elevation. But then again, the pole wouldn't matter.
No.
I mean, the Earth would still be spinning the same direction.
Mm-hmm.
This wouldn't change the axis.
No.
It's just a polar shift. The axis of the Earth spinning doesn't change.
So you see most of Europe and Russia is underwater.
Yeah.
I don't know how much the actual land is left outside of Africa.
Like I said, man, they better do the right thing this time and just kick those boats right back into the water.
I don't know.
Look, guys, they're coming. They're not bringing their best and brightest. They're the drug dealers and rapists and some good people. What? Africa needs to build that wall, man.
So there's the little girl.
Mm-hmm.
She wets the bed.
Yeah.
She has to have pull-ups.
Oh, the biggest character arc of the entire movie.
Yep.
Continue.
She has to have pull-ups. She's 7 years old and still wets the bed.
Yes.
That's normally a sign of some type of traumatic event that happened in her life, which could have just been her parents getting divorced.
Mm-hmm.
But she seems completely fine with it. And that wasn't really the issue?
Yes.
So does Gordon sexually molest this little girl?
No.
Can you prove that?
Gordon is rich enough that he can fuck any supermodel he wants.
But maybe he's not into supermodels.
If he was going
maybe he's hanging out
in
with...
this time period, if he was going to molest little girls, he would catch his private plane down to Epstein Island.
Maybe that wasn't enough for him.
No, Gordon's a better guy than that.
Maybe Gordon isn't fucking Epstein Private Island rich.
Gordon's definitely Epstein Private Island rich.
He's driving a shitty Miata.
He's doing plastic surgery for Russian oligarchs.
It's the Russian oligarch's prostitute.
Still, that's that Russian oligarch money.
Yeah.
So he can do better than this little 8-year-old child, 7-year-old child.
I like Yuri. Yuri was realistic too.
Yeah.
Of a billionaire.
Yep.
He's like, oh, yep, fucking we're out. He would have left her there at that stadium.
Bitch, you don't think I know about you and Sasha?
Dead to me. Got my boys get out.
Fucking ugly kids, too.
Oh, so ugly.
Fucking
little
hell.
Spoiled shits.
Just because they're Russian doesn't mean they have to be ugly.
No, man. That's all Russian. Well, the chick was pretty.
Yeah, maybe she was less Russian than them.
I guess all Russian guys are ugly. I mean, Sasha was Russian. He was handsome.
Yeah, man. Sasha was hot.
But they also gave him a girl's name.
So. I don't blame her, man. I'd be all over Sasha, too.
Yeah, he's a good-looking dude.
Mm-hmm. R.I.P. Sasha. You were too young.
He should have just jumped off the fucking plane.
He had to hold her straight so they could escape. Okay?
Cusack ran up a fucking RV and jumped out of a hole.
Fucking. Oh, my God. The closest other absurd thing I've seen to Cusack being able to get out of that RV and out of that hole is in The Hobbit when Legolas is fucking hopping from stone to stone on that pillar that's collapsing into the fucking chasm.
He's an elf. He's an elf.
Or he could just be related to John Cusack.
Cusack might be part elf. So he wears a suit this entire movie.
He does.
So you never really get to see his true body structure.
You think that's just what Cusack showed up to set in?
Probably.
He just phoned it in so hard. He's like, well, I'm fucking running in front of the green screen on this scene. I'm jumping in the plane.
He looks like he's not in very good shape, honestly.
His ex-wife fucking Hulk throws him into that plane, by the way. Jeez, the one-arm strength of that woman.
He actually grabs onto the edge. She doesn't pull
Does
him
he?
in. Yeah.
I swore
No,
it was like she
didn't.
just fucking snatched him in.
No, he grabs onto the edge. He didn't even take her hand.
No. You're right. He didn't need it.
Yeah, he as he's grabbing with the other hand on, he has to catch the map. Like when it comes in.
He could literally just plant his heels and Captain America the plane out of the air.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, he's John Cusack, motherfucker. You can't handle this.
He's Jesus, I guess.
Yeah, JC
or something. Walks on water as long as it's frozen.
So you really like this movie?
It's entertaining. It's an entertaining movie. I know it's cheesy and dumb, but I like most disaster movies. I still enjoy.
So, as far as like just sheer destruction spectacle, I'll give you this: the first act of this movie wasn't that bad, right? Whenever L.A. and all that,
It's San Andreas.
San Andreas falls into the ocean, and then it immediately goes to the next set piece. Mm-hmm. As long as they're chaining those set pieces together, it was fine.
Yeah, but
after Las Vegas. Felt slow. Felt real slow.
I mean, the beginning of the movie, they're jumping around quite a bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're trying to develop characters or something. I don't know.
But overall, if this wasn't like a Thanos was right kind of bad guy situation, when you make me feel as though I relate more with your bad guy than I relate with your heroine, your movie is fucking awful. Your movie's bad.
Well, the heroine should have just been Adrian.
Yeah.
I mean, and just about him. And just, this could have been more like This Is Up. And it could have been more of a political movie where he's trying to convince.
Don't Look Up.
Yeah, or Don't Look Up. Yeah.
Yeah. That would have been much better.
But this was an action disaster movie.
Not had any of John Cusack or his family. Mm-hmm. Keep Gordon in because Gordon's fucking badass.
No, Gordon's gotta go. Gordon's
number
gotta go.
1 A+.
Gordon's gotta go.
Rest in peace, my boy Gordon.
No, Gordon's gotta go.
Me and Gordon like this.
Yeah, they can't see that. Apparently, my co-host Danny and Gordon both have vaginas and they're scissoring.
Like this. Like this.
I don't know what that means.
But, yeah. I mean, all that could have been cut out. No, I totally agree. And just have it be something slightly different. It would have been fine. It could have just been him getting out of Europe or something.
But then it wouldn't have been as entertaining.
Yeah.
Or something. I don't know. It's still a thrilling, action-packed movie. Like the volcano erupting was entertaining, and it was neat.
Like I said, I hated a good half of this.
You know what the last line of the movie is?
Something about the girl pissing herself.
The very last line of the movie. It's the little girl saying, and she says, "No more pull-ups."
Yeah.
And John Cusack's like, "Nice." Because he has a great chemistry with his kids.
The only character that had development over the course of this movie. This movie's bad in an unendearing way. You know? Independence Day? Was it a great movie? No. Is it an okay movie? Yeah. But is it a fucking awesome movie? Yes.
Hell yeah.
This did not live up to that.
No.
Not at all.
But that was an alien invasion, right? Everyone loves a good alien invasion movie.
When I was looking up some stuff for this movie, I loved it. I love seeing pictures that had this movie case sitting in the comedy section of stores. I'm just like, yeah, I see that. This is fucking absurdly laughable.
Well, at the time, this had to have been made just fast. They had to put this movie out within a year, like production,
yes.
Script, everything.
They did.
Because it was literally just playing off the fears that everyone has that, the world's going to end, the Mayan calendar is going to end in 2012.
How much do you think they spent to make this movie?
Oh, I know. The budget was almost $200 million.
Yes. That's a lot of money.
It was.
It's a lot of money.
They made they had $65 million opening weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And then the domestic was only $166 million.
Mm-hmm.
Which was pretty bad. But
Yep.
you know what the worldwide was?
Mm-mm.
The overall gross, the worldwide, was almost $800 million.
Wow.
So the movie was a success.
That's
but you got to think,
awful.
any disaster movie like this that encompasses the entire planet, everyone's going to watch. Like, it could be, it's universal. It'll translate to everywhere.
No, nothing in South America got destroyed. It doesn't encompass the entire planet.
You're right. All the Africans didn't watch this movie because they got to live.
Africans are from South America.
Oh, what? No, South America's all gone.
I don't remember ever saying South America
What'd
was
you just
destroyed. I said South America didn't get destroyed. We don't see nothing get destroyed in South America.
South America's gone.
Like, whoosh, under?
Yeah.
I don't know. They never said anything about it.
Oh, it's gone.
Yeah. For $200 million, man.
It shows Brazil collapsing before the volcano started erupting. South America was all underwater. If you ever seen some of the pictures and stuff where it shows like 20,000 years ago, there's a lot of land that wasn't underwater.
I just don't feel like we got $200 million worth of movie out of this.
I do. There was actually, it had a good cast.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of these sets on. They had a lot of extras and just large set designs. They filmed all over the world. They actually filmed a lot of these different locations.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What a waste. I couldn't tell.
Yeah. I mean, it had a production value. So that's where the money went. And the effects weren't bad. There's some times where it looked cheesy, but overall, like, it's entertaining enough that you can get involved in the movie.
Yeah.
I think the biggest, there's two big CGI parts that just look shitty. And one was the volcano, like where he's running the plane. It looks pretty CGI'd.
Yeah.
And then the other one was when he's driving the limo. When the limo is like ramping off stuff.
My God.
They just tint the windows of the limo and it just looks like a little fake CGI car going around.
R.I.P. to those two old ladies as well, because Roland Emmerich thought just killing two old people would be funny.
And I laughed. They were driving slow. Fuck them. I hate every day when I went to high school, I would always get stuck behind this old lady going down this old county road that goes to my high school. I don't want to name it. But every day going to school and coming back, somehow I would at least 3 times a week, I would get stuck behind her and she would go 25 miles an hour. And the road's so windy that I would just have to just fly by her, risking the chance that someone could come around the curve and hit me. But it was so frustrating that I didn't even care. I'd rather die in a car crash than be stuck behind this old lady for another second. I feel him.
God. And he doesn't even drive down a sidewalk. He drives through people's yards, and
it's not like they care. They're dying. Their house is collapsing on top of them.
Yeah, but it would be better to be driving down the sidewalk.
Even if these people were at home, they're underneath the table, dying. Secure.
Oh my God.
I got one more fun thing to talk about.
Okay, give me your fun fact.
Danny Glover's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
The president's daughter. That is so she, I don't know if you ever, like, I actually thought this was her, that the Gamora from Guardians of the Galaxy, she's been in a bunch of movies too. That's Zoe Saldana.
Yeah.
And this is Thandie Newton. So if you look at her and Zoe, they look almost identical. It's crazy similar to the fact where Zoe said, she told a story once in an interview that her mother saw a poster for Crash and thought that was her daughter in the movie. And it was actually this chick. But yeah, it's crazy how similar they are.
Oh, she's in Mission Impossible too.
Yeah.
God. Pursuit of Happiness?
Yep, Pursuit of Happiness, which is that completely depressing movie.
She's in Solo?
Yep, yeah, she was in Solo.
Wow. Westworld, that's where I know her from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I always thought this was the same actress. Here, let me show you. I'll show you the picture side by side.
Yeah, they look real similar. That's definitely Sebastian Stan, Mark Hamill kind of similarity right there.
I enjoy a lot of the actors in this, and it was an entertaining movie. They're like even the guy who played Adrian. I don't want to pronounce his name again. Chiwetel. He was in Serenity, of course.
Yes.
He was in Four Brothers, American Gangster, 12 Years a Slave.
I've still not watched 12 Years a Slave. I need to watch that.
He was in Doctor Strange.
Yeah. He's Baron Mordo.
Yeah, Mordo.
Mm-hmm.
Which he's coming back in the new one.
Mm-hmm.
It comes out in a couple months. Then you had Oliver Platt, who's been a bunch of stuff. Been around for a long time. Woody Harrelson, Danny Glover, to say that.
Yes.
Even the Asian worker that snuck them onto the boat.
Yeah, that's
Chin Han.
Mm-hmm.
His name was Tenzin in the movie. He was in another movie we reviewed already, Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He played Shang Tsung, and then of course he was in The Dark Knight. Also.
Yeah. He was the accountant.
Yep. Yeah. So
it's got a lot of people in it. Yeah.
It's an entertaining movie.
I guess so. But it does not stop it from being completely awful. So, I guess you're convincing me a little bit. Maybe it's not a 5.
A hate meter. It does have some racism involved.
Yeah.
Pops doesn't,
Yeah, he doesn't like them Japs.
Yep.
That's about it. I don't think there's a whole bunch of other racism.
I'm sure
there was a bunch of stuff that I felt was deeply racist in this movie.
I did like that the Sultan.
Mm-hmm.
He had 3 wives with him.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. He has a large family. Apparently, he just chose 3 women to bang. It's a long trip.
We're gonna be on these boats for a long time, guys.
You got to mix it up.
But
good for him.
Maybe it's only a 3. Maybe it's only a 3 bad. I only hated this a 3.
So, that's pretty low. I could agree to that.
Yeah. This insulted my brain. This movie was Roland Emmerich thinking I'm a moron.
I mean, that's how. So most disaster movies are designed to play on just kind of like current media.
Yeah.
This movie was Fox News.
Oh my God. Yeah, pretty much.
If you watch Fox News right now, it's pretty much like watching this movie without the action scenes.
Just the implication of the world constantly ending.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's basically
if you watch Tucker Carlson, you believe the world is ending.
I can see that. Doom and gloom all the time, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why didn't Obama care about 9/11? Why wasn't he there? Some say he wasn't even in office.
I guess you could say that, couldn't you, Tucker?
I believe he was there.
Yeah.
And I'm gay. That's how you have to end every.
Oh. So Tucker Carlson signs off?
Yeah.
And I'm gay?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my God, dude. I don't know. That's all.
All right. Well, I guess that's it.
Would you recommend people watch this movie?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you gotta give it a watch.
Don't do it. I would say no.
If you believe the next time the world might end, go back and watch this movie. Because then maybe you won't believe it.
Yeah, next time somebody says the world's going to end, you can go back and watch this movie and see how this happened. So
we're due like a good world-ending event soon.
Could you imagine if they made a Y2K End of the World movie back in the day?
I'm sure they did. The difference is,
my cell phone doesn't work.
Oh, the bank accounts don't work and stuff. Oh, the computers can't roll over a zero. But that was just easily fixed immediately. That was the difference.
Yeah.
This, you couldn't really be like, oh, yeah, we fixed it by programming or something. Just something humans that could just easily fix the issue. So,
yeah.
Thanks everyone for joining us. That's all we have to say about this movie. Hit us up on Facebook, Twitter. And,
all the tweets.
Hit the thumbs up.
All the Googles.
Subscribe.
Get down there in the comment sections.
And
click all the buttons.